The Module 25 lockbox is now here. You can buy it on the Wondrous Bazaar, or you can just kill enemies and you'll get that to drop for you. And in this video, we're going to go open 250 of these, obtaining all the rewards, and then testing out the new companion and mount and showcasing them. So we start things off with the lockbox. I did make a preview video of this, of what it's going to obtain, but you can inspect the box and it's got that new mythic mount, the Aragon Riding Lizard. What's special about it is, yes, it's got some new pack tactics, which is really good. It's going to be another aura that your teammates can use to provide everybody with a boost to their ratings, not just yourself. The combat power, pretty underwhelming, and I don't really see much use for it. And with the stats, we now have 4 insignia slots, and you can see the 4th insignia slot here, which is preferred, is going to give a plus 20% item level boost to the insignia slotted within that. We're going to have to test that out, exactly how it's going to work when we obtain it. And then additionally, we have the new companion, the Blaspheme Assassin. Got a bunch of new powers there as well, and it's a striker companion, which of course we're going to go and have to test out as well. So let's get this box opened. Now you do have a bunch of guaranteed drops that you will obtain depending on how much progress you've made. We opened 3 and already got the mythic mount. What are the chances of that? But at 5 opened, you get guaranteed 250 trade bars. So if you leave it at that, wait for the next lockbox, you have gained a 50 on average trade bars per box open. But you can obtain about on average 45 trade bars per box if you open the full 250. If you just open 150 of them, getting to the milestone reward of 2000, you will actually have a little bit higher average trade bars. But you can see you're not always obtaining these trade bars, right? It's a chance that you obtain them. The drop rates in the trade bars is the same as the previous version, so we'll see the total that we obtain. I'm still on the fence of opening these or opening the much older ones because, yeah, you aren't always obtaining trade bars. It's still only a chance to do so. But we're just steamrolling through opening them here. I'm not going to like delay it or anything. And we get to that 250 and we get the pack. This is the choice pack. Now, before we got to the 250, we already obtained the mythic mount and we obtained the mythic companion. So that is because the drop rates are like 1 in 250. So it's in all likelihood that you do obtain it within opening 250. Anyway, we can see the entirety of our drops here. It's 250 opened. It's what you want to get the maximum rewards from this. Take advantage of all those nice guaranteed rewards. You can see there just 1 mythic insignia, 2 bags of holding, a coal moat from the guaranteed drop, and then you can see down there a bunch of legendary insignias, 2 legendary mounts, a bunch of epic insignias, a bunch of epic mounts, and then some companions here. We even got Wiggins, the undead intern. That is something I have not tested. I can add that to my list. Excellent. And scrolling down through the rest of them here, just some blue mounts and companions, some green ones, and then the trade bars. So yes, after opening 250, we did obtain on average 47 trade bars per box. That is good. That's very solid. But again, you have to be opening that many in order to average it out like that. Personally, fairly happy with that. So let's move on to testing the new companion and the mount. Again, after 250, we got this choice pack where you can choose either or, but we already obtained them from it. So excellent. You'll be able to sell like 1 of them or 2 of them. So again, just having a quick look. The new Aragon Riding Lizard is going to have pack tactics there and Relentless Hunter with then 4 insignia slots. And the new companion is going to be a striker and then also have exploit weakness, which just splits between your crit strike and crit severity. And then spiteful presence, being able to give you a damage boost on a 50% chance whenever your companion attacks. So just go and equip those, binding them. Again, they will be account wide. So once you bind them on one of your characters, you will be able to go to your promo tab and you should be able to find them. I have a long list here. The Aragon Riding Lizard and the Blaspheme Assassin. So first of all, the appearances of the Aragon Riding Lizard. Here you go. No real fancy mount up animation. It's just like so. And then you're riding around exactly like a lizard. It's a bit more slim than the other versions, but that's about it. Spacebar animation, you're just going to be roaring like so. Yeah, I guess nothing too fancy. It is a new mount, but that's all it has going for it. And then the Relentless Hunter power is just there. When you're in combat, you can go and cast it, and basically here he'll come, he'll roar, and do no damage to nothing, and then boost your stats. So again, you can see all your allies, combat advantage and defense, and then yourself some extra accuracy on top of that. Now the pack tactics, that's going to be really great. Again, exactly the same amount of stats you would normally obtain. That's 2,250 times 2. That's just as much as you would get from like rapid accuracy on 4,500. Just it's split between an offense and a defense stat, but you provide it to all your allies. Now, unfortunately, pack tactics won't actually show up on your buff bar, so much like Mystic Aura, but you can see it will give you the stats. So like 44,000 combat advantage there. Switch to something else, and you can see we've dropped down that 2,250. So it works, it just doesn't show on your buff bar. Now, what's special about the mount again is being able to slot it here in your stable to then be able to use it to hold insignias. Now I'm re-recording this section because it got a bit confusing, but we can see the insignia bonus list of the mount. However, it seems to be a little bit bugged. You can see all the insignia bonuses it says it can provide there, including like Artificer's Persuasion. That'll be important, you'll see. But we have the new insignia bonuses, of which there are 3 of them, which will require you to have all 4 insignia slotted. And of course, you want all 4 insignia slotted because of the amount of stats then you gain and item level. So with 4 insignias instead of 3, you're basically gaining a whole new insignia, which is 500 more item level, which of course is what you want, right? And so we can go slot these all in here, and there you go. We have those 4 insignias giving us Master's Precision because we've matched the combination. And you can see with the preferred insignia slot here, it gains an extra 20% item level. So it has 600 item level instead. The stats also get boosted. You can see as prefer these have 750. This goes to 900. That is just to match the item level. It just allows you to move stats around a bit easier. Now, if you slot in anything other than that Enlightened, you can see you do not gain the extra item level boost, as it is not the preferred insignia to be in that slot. And so, yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's how it's going to work. You have to have the preferred insignia to gain the boost, so it has to be an Enlightened one. Now, on top of that, what is broken with the insignia bonuses when you want to use the 3 ones is that you cannot use this preferred slot as a universal slot. I don't know if that's a bug. It could very well be. What this means is, let's say I want to have Artificer's Persuasion, right? I would need to have a barbed and an illuminated. So let's say we throw in a barbed right here, and then we throw in our illuminated. Yes, we won't gain the preferred bonus, but we actually don't obtain Artificer's Persuasion either, because this combination is actually considered as Victim's Preservation instead. That is because it has the crescent and 2 barbs. If we remove the crescent, you can see, you'd think it would be Artificer's Persuasion then, but it's not. Yeah, so this is not working as a universal slot right here. This is not actually a universal slot. So you are limited on what insignia bonuses you use. You cannot have Artificer's Persuasion. You can only have Victim's Preservation, Survivor's Blessing, Cavalry's Warding, and that's it. Then the 4 slot insignia bonuses. You cannot have Shepherd's Devotion and so on, because you have to have a crescent and you have to have a barbed. And then you cannot use the preferred slot as a universal. Like, again, let's say we try get a different combination. Let's say we want Berserker's Rage, right? So that's a barbed and 2 illuminated. So we put illuminated there and we put illuminated there. That should give us Berserker's Rage, but it's not. We have a barbed and 2 illuminated. Let's say we remove the crescent. It should, right? Give us Berserker's Rage. It is not. So that is how this is working. You're limited on what insignia bonuses you can use. Like I said in my video, like I predicted, it's not actually working. You cannot have any insignia bonus other than what requires a crescent and a brutality. You cannot use this second universal slot, which is the preferred one, as actually a universal. You can see it wants to have an enlightened to have that preferred. Now, as a DPS, we can use Mender's Covenant, exactly this combination, and will still be very useful because you're still getting the crit strike, crit severity, and power. Yes, you won't make any benefit from the outgoing healing as a DPS. And as a healer, this is the best combination there for those stat gains. So yes, these new 4-slot mounts can give you a 600 item level boost with mythic insignias. Let's move on from that to the new companion. The Blaspheme Assassin. Can have a quick look at it in combat here, and it seems to just be going invisible, teleporting, and attacking with its daggers. Nothing too fancy there. We will, of course, test his DPS out and compare him against a few other top companions. Yeah, he just teleports to enemies and attacks them with her daggers. The damage bonus ability is right here. You have to put it in offense. So you will be replacing something like your Neverwinter Knight, your Batiri, or your Tamed Raptor. And basically whenever the companion attacks, we have a chance to trigger that Spiteful Presence where we basically should deal some extra necrotic damage. So if we go out of combat here, we can see it is indeed an additional hit. So this power probably sucks. Like, have a look there, our Challenger Slash hit for just 1,000, and then we dealt 28 extra damage there with our Spiteful Presence. So it is like 6% of the damage we dealt, but it's getting mitigated by the enemy's deflect, the enemy's defense, and so it's ending up a lot less than 6%. That's unfortunate. So no, I cannot recommend Spiteful Presence, especially when it does not have 100% uptime. It only lasts 10 seconds with then a 15-second cooldown. May be useful in AoE fight where you're jumping in and out of combat, but that's about it. Like here, combat, our companion attacks, and there it triggers Spiteful Presence. Should be like pretty instantly. So let's go test her DPS. I've done over the past few days over 190 companions, so there's nothing new for me. But she does seem to have her big hit ability there. Hemophilic Strike, get up to like 172,000. And if she can maintain this DPS, then she could be one of the top striker companions for single target damage. So we got our test results, and yes, this Blaspheme Assassin will be the top single target damage dealing companion with module 25 so far. You can see just over 48,000 counter DPS. Now just behind that, we have the Honey Badger in second place, and that is on just over 43,500 DPS. So there is a bit of a gap there between the gonna be top single target damage companion and the second one. Now, I will post a video where I'll go over all of my damage companion tests. I've tested over 190 of them. I want to make its own dedicated video before I spoil all the rankings just yet, and we'll see. So that's the new lockbox, the Lothian lockbox, the new mount, the new companion, and yes, the new mount will be very desirable for its aura ability, along with having 4 insignia slots. Not that you'll be able to make use of many insignia bonuses there. Probably just take Mender's Covenant as a DPS, and then healers, of course, the Mender's one, and tanks could take Survivor's Blessing. And then with a companion, it's the top single target companion, so yeah, there's no arguing that people are going to want it. So good luck on your drops if you do decide to open this lockbox. Massive thank you again to all of these channel members for their added support, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.